Coming to you from the U.S. and streaming all over the world, this is Shotgun Sports USA. Get accurate, reliable information in every single episode, with interviews from the best shooters in the game, the best gun clubs across the globe, and industry-leading companies that revolutionize the sport. Be sure to check us out on social media and online at shotgunsportsusa.com. Shotgun Sports USA is powered by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend, and brought to you by Cole Gunsmithing, Castellani USA, Chromatic Traps, Clay Target Vision, Sound Gear Phantom, and Clay Shooter Supply. Welcome to the show.
This week, I got a hold of Zach Kienbaum and Rodney Disbrow while they were both in Savannah. We talk about the upcoming season, what they've been doing, and how they're preparing for the first shoot of the year. We had a good time with this one, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. What's up? We got Zach Kienbaum and Rodney Disbrow on with us, all the way from Savannah. Rodney's been riding around the country here lately, and he stopped in at Zach's house, and I hollered at both of them, and we got them on the podcast today. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Justin?
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Good. Let's talk about what's been going on since the Nationals ended. I hadn't seen Zach at all. I don't know where he's been, what he's doing. But I hadn't seen Zach at all. Rodney, I've seen you a few times around some gun clubs. Rodney, what you been up to?
Well, this year I left Montana and came down to Georgia, and thought I would get a little practice in this year.
Something I didn't know until Zach told me today is that you made Team USA for Fetaskin Sporting. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
I had no idea of that.
I wasn't even paying attention until towards the end of the season, and then kind of looked at the scores and noticed that I was on the team. So I just kept shooting and wound up making it.
That's pretty fun. I mean, what did you tell me the other day? You've been shooting for 6 years. Is that right?
Yes.
6 years on Team USA. Is that a record, Zach?
Oh, I have no idea. I wouldn't even know. I am kind of a historian, but I don't know stats like that. But obviously, Rodney kind of showed up on everyone's scene when he won the Gator Cup last year, almost a year ago. And obviously, making Team USA in his first year in vet class is quite the accomplishment. I'm proud of him.
And that just means he's going to get a new vest. Rodney won't ever buy a new vest. He looks like he drags his through the mud, so he's finally going to get a new one.
He mentioned that today, talking about how getting the Team USA vest. That's a big deal.
Well, that's good. I didn't know that for some reason. Maybe I did know it and I forgot. I mean, I've been forgetting a lot of things here lately, but congrats on that. And I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Zach, what have you been doing? I've talked to you a few times. I see pictures online of you going duck hunting. You've been all over the place shooting things.
I think just kind of after Nationals, I did not want to see a clay target. And I literally spent a couple months just traveling, hunting, goofing off. Went out to California, got to visit my family. We actually went to California twice. But just had a good time. Had some really good duck hunts and enjoyed myself.
The season really is started. I guess you can say that. The I see everybody flying into Dubai, going over to Fujairah, and
I think everyone's kind of arriving here in the last day or two. Everyone's looks like a good time. I don't think we have quite the contingent that went over, several years ago, but there's definitely some good American shooters.
Why do you feel that is? Is the purse just not big enough, or what's
Um,
or Jack Link's up too soon? What's the deal with that?
For me, it's too close to Jack Link's. I've gone over there twice. We had a great time, but it's a big, big trip. And I just couldn't get that excited about it. The money isn't quite as high as it was before. And I just know me. I mean, let me think here. I'm going on year 17 of shooting the full schedule year round, all the major shoots. And I can envision myself getting burnt out. It's kind of the same reason I don't shoot the whole Florida swing. I've kind of always started it with the old Gator Cup, and now obviously the Jack Links Cup. That'll be my first shoot. Um, I got to pace myself. I think getting old.
I know Anton went over there, but I wondered who all was going and how that's going to affect their performance getting back that quick to go to Jack Links.
I mean, Anthony's an animal. Obviously, we all know that. He's kind of getting there the final day of training. He's jumping right in. I think he gets home less than 24 hours and he's back on the road with the family down to Florida for Jack Links. So, I mean, if anyone's going to handle something like that, it's going to be Anthony. But you got some good shooters. Yeah, I think Gavin and Karen are going over. Joe Finizzi, Dominic Ross, Megan Harrington. I know there's more that I'm not thinking of, but there's a good contingent that could get it done over there.
That brings up a good point, getting burned out by shooting too much. In the off season, how much did you shoot, or how you and Rodney both, how much did you guys shoot, or did you just kind of lay off of it? As far as clay targets, I'm not talking about birds.
Personally, I did not shoot a single clay target until about 10 days ago. I practiced twice with my buddy Trey Graham here in the last 10 days or so. I shot about 400 targets. That's more than I shot last year going into Jack Links. And I've got a few more days to go. I'll probably shoot some more with Rodney tomorrow. And then this weekend with Brian Buzzy's coming to Savannah.
Rodney, how did you get him to shoot with you? Every time I try to get him to shoot with me, he will not go.
You just got to show up.
Right. That's what I tell Justin.
That's the trick. You get fed.
Does he go shoot with you, or does he go watch you shoot?
No, he usually goes shooting with us. And he'll get out there and show us how to do it.
All right. So Jack Links is a week and a half away, I guess you could say, a week away. I'm assuming there's going to be some changes down there. I know that the club has a new manager. Am I correct when I say that, Zach?
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't know that either.
But I believe Dave Kelly came over from South Florida. He's the new manager at Quail Creek.
Yeah, I've never met Dave, but everybody knows that the Link family has invested a lot in that place, and I'm really looking forward to going. I don't know much about what's going to go on like I did last year. Last year I talked to one of the guys from down there. I talked to the target setters, and I don't know who those are going to be this year. So it's going to be kind of open, up in the air of.
As far as I know, and I mean, like I said, don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure Doug Vine and Joe Skull are still the main target setters.
Okay.
So it's going to be tough. I'd imagine that Doug will have that blue side, the big open side, and he'll throw some bombs. And then Joe's obviously on the red, which is a little tighter course, some probably more quartering, more technical, less big birds.
Yeah, I think Joe he's old and he can't see them if they get out far enough. So Jack Links has 1,032 shooters registered.
Wow. That's U.S. Open size.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable. They got 896 shooters in the main event.
I mean, I think Quail Creek and the Finizzi family built that place up. It's got a really good reputation of throwing some quality shoots. And then obviously the Link family taking over. They did a really, really good job last year. There's a lot of buzz around the shoot. Obviously, the money's got some people coming, but I think, Florida in February and a known commodity that the shoot kind of is now. That's what we've got.
Yeah. The Flyers $200,000 in guaranteed money. They're paying all the way down to E-class. The last year when we were there, I can remember going into registration and getting, hey, here's your, what do you call that, Zach? Your goodie bag? What's that called?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Best goodie bag ever.
I'm telling you, walk out. Rodney, did you go?
Yes. That was a good time.
You go and you walk outside up under a tent. And there's 500 coolers there, just smashed full of stuff.
But yeah, I think there were coffee mugs, pocket knives, a really cool, a nice soft-sided cooler, and I can't even remember. Bass Pro gift cards. I think I remember them saying that the goodie bag itself at retail value is about what the main event costs.
So you talked about getting burnt out on clay targets, and you didn't want to see one right after the season. Do you think a lot of people that shoot burn out and don't know it when the season restarts again from practicing so much?
I really do. I've seen some top guys, like you hear, shooting thousands and thousands and thousands of practice targets before the season even gets going, and you rarely hear that or see that same guy is, winning by the summertime. I've always thought to myself, and whether it's correct or not, I've always want to peak in FETASC in July, and I want to peak in sporting in October. That's just kind of my thought process. I've realized over the years I can't win them all. When I tried to win them all, I won nothing. I have to kind of ramp myself up and build into some of these main events. And it's worked the last few years for sure.
Explain what you said. You want to peak in FETASC in July and in sporting in October. Explain how you do that and what you mean by that.
Well, I think it's just a mindset. I don't know if it literally happens every year like that or not. But I think I've talked about it on other podcasts. I used to go shoot all the events. I'd shoot every event, sub gauges, all of the above, and I'd literally try to win everything. And all I really won back in those days was prelims and sub gauges. I would shoot really well, shoot really, really good scores early in the tournament, and then kind of run out of gas by the end of the tournament. And then that you compound that over a year. I just wasn't as consistent as I feel now. Now I think of the side events. I think of the prelim, the 5-stand, the whatever, as I'm just kind of practicing my move, practicing execution of different techniques and visual things that I'm trying to do on different birds, and thinking to myself, this is really just practice. And believe it or not, those scores end up being good. And I don't feel as mentally drained by the time the 200 bird main comes around.
Ronnie, you're still new, basically. 6 years. You haven't been doing it long.
He's a baby.
Do you still see yourself or feel yourself wanting to go out and shoot all the time? Or are you kind of to the point where you're like, I'm just going to wait till the shoot gets here?
No, I mean, the previous years I've kind of showed up. Usually the Gator Cup or now Jack Links would come, and that would be my first shoot, and I wouldn't really shoot anything after nationals, and it kind of hurts if you let it go that long. Like this year, I came down earlier in November, and I've been shooting probably November, December. I probably did 1 or 2 days a week I would shoot. And then since January, I've probably upped it 2 or 3 days. And then, and not doing full shoots, I would go out and practice certain stations, certain targets. And that was pretty comfortable doing that.
Now, that's from Montana, correct?
Yes, that's from Montana.
Those that don't know, Rodney he's a Montana resident.
So yeah, the only thing I would shoot there would be like skeet and trap, and it doesn't equal shooting the sporting.
Running all over the country like you do, how does that take a toll on your shooting? I mean, you drive everywhere. You don't fly anywhere, right?
No. I drive everywhere.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, some shoots. It probably affects me a little bit more. I notice if I don't get there early and show up like the day before and then try to shoot, it seems to be a little bit harder to shoot and keep focus. But if I show up a couple days before and kind of get rested beforehand, then it seems to be a little bit better.
Zach, what are you looking forward to most with the season starting?
Yeah, I'm kind of ready to compete again. I definitely have a good time down there at Quail Creek. I'm kind of looking forward to this summer, to be honest with you. I've been talking to Rodney today. I was telling him this is going to be one of the most epic summers ever. I love those when both world championships are in Europe, going to spend a week in England and shooting at EJ Churchill, and then getting right back on a plane and going to Budapest for the World Feed Test. It's going to be an incredible trip, whether you've done it before or it's your first time. We've got a lot of first time guys on the team. I'm really excited for Rodney, longtime friend of mine from California, Tom John. He's I believe he's the captain of both super vet teams, and it's his first time shooting overseas. That's going to be awesome for these guys. Connor Daniel making both teams. Turner Parcell. There's just a lot of really great shooters that are going to do that for the first time. And then when we come home, Desi and I will head up to Alaska, back down to Colorado for the Western Regional, back up to Montana to do our normal August in Montana, and then to Chicago for the North Central Regional. I think it's going to be one of our most incredible summers ever.
I'm surprised Rodney hadn't moved to Georgia yet. As much as I see him
Well,
around here.
I mean, that's kind of Rodney.
I'm
What's up?
Kind of feeling it out and seeing how it's going to be and the heat and everything. And Montana has a really, really nice summer. And that's hard to beat. But if you want to shoot, you need to be down this way. So
that big fancy fifth wheel has been at Cherokee Rose since Nationals, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know it's been there that long. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Since after Nationals, I came right to Georgia and went to Cherokee Rose, and then I went back to Montana for like a week hunting, and then I've been there ever since.
Rodney, tell us, how did you end up moving to Montana from New York?
Elk hunting.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to shoot elk. I was going out there, and a week just wasn't enough time. And I had a friend go out there and get a job, and then he came back that next spring. We were turkey hunting, and I asked him if there was any work out there, and he called the guy he worked for, and he said he would hire me. So 2 weeks later, I was out there.
Awesome.
Really? That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
So you just moved out there just for hunting and found a job on the way.
Yeah. It was kind of good. My friend worked at a ski area, and and he called the boss up, and he said he would hire me. Yeah, so I was like, well, I wanted to move, wanted to shoot some elk, and figured I need to be there for the whole season, and that's what I did.
What year would this have been?
This was in 93.
30 years ago.
Yep.
Zach, you mentioned on the podcast the other day with Ant, or he said that you were out of it for 5 years. Is that what he said? Did I catch that right?
I was not shooting for about 3.5 years.
So what were you doing in those? When was this? What were you doing?
That's right at the age of in college or out of college, college age, and your parents aren't paying for shooting. And I got a girlfriend actually that made me think that I wanted to be around home a little bit more. And in the meantime, I got a full-time job in the produce industry there in California. And then both of my parents got sick and kind of passed away in that time frame. And then I kind of had worked my way up in the produce industry and got better and better positions. And my boss at the time really encouraged me to start shooting again. So I, I was doing pretty well. I think I was like number 14 in All-American points that year with a full-time job. And then, I mean, I've told the story in other platforms, but I wasn't married, didn't have any kids, and I always envisioned myself doing something in the shooting industry. So I quit my job and moved down to Southern California to teach full time.
When was this? What year was that?
So I shot up through like June of 2001, and I believe I came back late 2004 or early 2005.
And that's the last time you had a, so to speak, job.
I quit my job full time in 2007 and moved to Southern California.
And you've been doing this ever since?
I've been shooting everything ever since. Not every single shoot in the country, but definitely all the, the tour, trying to make the team, all of the above.
What do you think you would have been doing if you would not have came back to shooting?
I'd probably still live in Salinas, California, working in the produce vegetable industry. I still kind of miss it at times. I miss the day to day. I miss the working with the farmers and the crews and being out on the road and kind of looking after my crops. But I don't miss the business end of it, I guess just any of the negative parts of the game. But that's probably what I'd be doing. It's good money. I had a really good job with a really good company, and there was definitely a future there, but I guess it just didn't have my heart like shooting.
That's interesting. I mean, I've known you for a while. I didn't know any of that until I heard that podcast.
I shot heavily all the way through junior class up until, when I was a junior, I mean, it ended at 18. It wasn't, sub juniors ended at 14, juniors ended at 18. And I think my parents really supported it through fee test was still to 21. So they really supported it through like 20. When I was about 20, turning 21 was when they kind of backed off, and that's kind of life, right? I mean, happens to every one of these kids.
I saw a post that somebody had on Facebook the other day about gun clubs and who produces the best shooters. Is that the way that was?
That was yesterday.
Was that when that was? Okay.
That was, manager there at Greater Houston. They got a really good youth program there that actually we go help a couple times a year. Dominic and Megan and Joe Finizzi, they all kind of coach there. But they've got a really successful youth program that only shoots NSCA and NSSA. No Texas 4-H, no nothing, no SCTP. And then you have the other club that I'm a member of, Forest City here in Savannah, who has what is definitely the most successful SCTP program in the country. Well, both sides, I promise you, and it's not just these two clubs, it happens everywhere. They're all very proud of their teams, and they're all very good shooters, but they don't compete against each other. But I think something in the future needs to get these kids together. We need Texas 4-H shooting against Georgia SCTP, against Minnesota trap shooters, and let's get Kayla Wilgus and her team from Seattle out here. There are quality youth shooters all over this country that love shooting, love competing, but they do not compete against each other because these other organizations aren't affiliated, or one breaks off of the other, and the parents don't get along, and they end up setting shoots on top of each other, so the kids either have to choose one or the other, or not shoot at all. So I think something's got to give. Something's got to change, and I've got some ideas, but we'll talk about that when the time comes.
SCTP, I talked to you about this the other day. Should a youth shooter shoot SCTP or shoot the NSCA trail championship tour if they wanted to be the best they could be, and they couldn't do both? What would you suggest? If
they want to be the best they can be, it's NSCA. It's obvious. Todd Hitch and Joe Finizzi shot SCTP for a year or two each. Currently, Connor Daniel shot 1 year of SCTP, and now he's arguably the best sub-junior in the country. In a perfect world, I think it's a balance of the two, but everyone's different. Everyone's goals are different. Everyone's resources are different. I do like the fact that these kids are learning skeet and trap at a real young age. I think those are games that once you understand the hold points and where to look, how to stand, those are skills that are going to stay with those kids forever. Because I firmly believe there's not near the years of experience that you need to learn in sporting clays to get up to a high level as trap and skeet. But I like I said, it's just individual, and everyone's story is not the same.
I know there's got to be pluses and minuses to both, and I kind of agreed with what you just said as far as shooting the NSCA. If you want to be the best you can be, if this is something you want to do,
we're obviously talking about a sporting clay kid, someone that's
right.
Definitely dedicated to sporting clays. But yeah, I mean, the same applies to if the kid was really good trap shooter. I think you're going to get better competition in the ATA and NSSA, obviously sporting clays. I think you shoot better targets, you shoot tougher targets, you learn at a little more rapid rate than just shooting softer birds. But for those young kids, if the kid's 12 years old, then there may not be a better program for him than SCTP or something similar.
What other kids that we know, and I know we're going to skip over some that have shot SCTP and are really good in the NSCA?
On the older end, well, I mean, Vincent Hancock started in SCTP. Will Hinton and Matt Fisher, they both shot SCTP and got up to be some of the best sporting clay shooters in the country. And there's some current kids, but yeah, like Joe and Todd, they're the kind of the current model for that, the kid that transfers over to NSCA full time, even though they are of age to shoot SCTP. So Rodney, now that you have officially made both Team USAs, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to the most?
The looking forward to going over to England and Hungary. I've never really been out of the United States, and it's going to be really exciting about going over to Europe. So, and being on the team too was one of my goals that I've always set for myself to try to make the team. And now that I have, it's pretty exciting, and I can't wait to go over.
What you want to shoot? You want Churchill, or you want to go to other places and practice? What?
Yeah, I'd to go to EJ Churchill. That's going to be the best part of it. But just to shoot different birds from a different country and stuff. You hear the stories that they're a little different, maybe a little longer, a little faster. But I'm excited to see the different style and what they're going to throw over there. And and the good food too.
Oh, I don't know if anyone's ever gone to England for the food.
I just thought about something. Can you see Rodney over there trying to talk to those people that don't speak English? That's like a world champion. He's in a foreign country. He reminds me of old redneck came to town. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna walk up in there with. At least he has a new vest on.
Justin, I'll be perfectly honest with you. We've had way more redneck Americans over in Europe than Rodney Disbrow. I promise you that. Okay. In England, they obviously speak English, Justin.
I know, but there's other. I know they speak English there, but there's
in Hungary, you'd be surprised the majority of people know some English, and they're very pro-American. I've heard people joke in the past that Hungary is kind of the Texas of Europe, and I kind of see that. A lot of outdoorsmen, a lot of hunting. It's a cool country. The food's really a lot of meat and potatoes. The food is much better in Hungary than in England. I can promise you that.
Oh yeah. Meat and potatoes, Rodney.
Eastern.
Hey, that's right up my alley. Meat and potatoes.
Rodney might find an Eastern European girlfriend.
Uh-oh. You gonna bring her back, Rodney, if you find one?
Maybe I won't come back. And I get to drive on the left side of the road and not get in trouble.
Right.
Now, where was that indoor shooting range, Zach, that I've seen pictures of before?
That's in Germany.
Okay. I didn't know where that was at.
That's in Ulm. That's in the same town as Krieghoff and Anschutz.
Okay. We need one of them over here.
There's one in northern Georgia.
Really?
Kennesaw?
Really?
Kennesaw Gun Club or something? It's not near the size. The room is not as tall and big as the one in Germany, but they shoot, I believe, definitely shoot trap. Probably some skeet as well. Yeah, not far from you.
I'd like to check that out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's something Kennesaw. Somebody comment on this podcast. Let us know where that indoor range is in Georgia.
Yeah, we need to find that. We need to make a trip up there. So what else? What else you looking forward to, Rodney? He's been smiling the whole time, thinking about driving on the wrong side of the road and finding a woman that can't speak English.
Maybe deaf too, I hope.
Blind.
I don't want to ask for too much. I don't know. This whole year is going to be a good year because I'm going to do the full schedule and shoot all the shoots too. So I'm real excited about that and traveling all over and getting a lot of shooting in.
Hey, what about the Gamil Cup? Speaking of local stuff, at Cherokee Rose, this is something new they're doing this year, and I know you've been hanging out there a lot. How's that looking for you? You going to be there?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be mostly working. I'm going to try to shoot in the main event, but other than that, I'm just going to be working, and we're starting to get stuff together for that. And probably here in another month, I'm sure they'll start getting stuff in and getting ready for it.
Yeah, what are they? I saw where Gene and Dave just bought 40-something traps or something like that. The new traps for the club.
Yeah, 36. They got 36 new traps.
Is that like swapping out old ones, or are they adding to the fleet?
No, they added another 36 and kept it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so now they got 4 traps on every station on both courses.
Zach, it's crazy. You can go out. We've been the past few weeks, and the A and B targets are the easier targets. The C and D targets are the harder targets. So you can shoot 2 courses at once, really.
Right.
It's pretty neat.
Well, what I think that helps is, you can take in the same squad a whole broad range of experience levels, and no one's holding up the other shooter, and everyone's entertained. So like you can go practice that tough stuff, and Bryce can be shooting the easier stuff, and everyone's moving right through there the same rate, same pace. And I like to go practice the easy stuff too.
Well, you know who said that one time, and I've always remembered that, is Derek Mine. I know you've heard him say it before. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes out and wants to practice all the hard stuff before they go to a tournament, but nobody wants to practice the easy stuff.
In general, I didn't make this up, but I mean, a lot of people have always said, if you hit all the ones you're supposed to hit and get your share of the hard stuff, you're going to end up sitting pretty well in the event. When you miss an easy target, that's the one you go to bed at night and think about. You don't really dwell on the hard stuff that you missed, but the stuff that you should hit, that's the one that's going to keep you up at night.
That's right. I think we were talking about that the other day as well. I mean, the hard stuff's where I have a problem. It's the easy stuff that I'm okay with. I guess I need to practice the hard stuff and not the easy stuff.
Do you have any expectations for Jack Links? What's your goals this year?
To have a nice place to stay when I get there and try to find a pretty good restaurant to eat at.
I think we got to work on that, but we got time.
Where'd y'all go eat tonight?
Castaways right there in Sandfly.
Brian, you ever ate that barbecue place down there?
Yeah, the one there. Yeah, I've had lunch there.
Yeah.
Sandfly Barbecue.
That's the only reason I go to Savannah. And every time I seem to go, they're closed.
Savannah is an incredible club. We got the regional for 24, Southeast Regional. I think I bet you it's one of the biggest regionals of next year.
Really?
We just got so much good stuff, good close hotels, close restaurants. I mean, within 3 or 4 minutes of the gun club, you have some awesome restaurants.
And hotels. You got big hotels, nice ones on the
Yeah,
river.
it's Savannah. Who couldn't talk their wife or family into coming to Savannah for the weekend?
No, I agree. There's nothing that you cannot do there. You can do everything you want to do there. Stay at a nice place, eat nice places, all close. When is the last time you went to a gun club and you can do all this within 10 minutes?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's nowhere.
Well, I forget what year it was. You were there. The last time they had a regional, we had a darn hurricane bearing in off the Atlantic, and half of the people canceled. We didn't get hit with the hurricane. It was an awesome shoot. Just sensationalistic weather forecast scared people.
I don't know that it even rained.
It didn't. It was just windy.
Yeah, Savannah's a real cool place to get all the history there, and the downtown, if you like that. You can go stay at the baddest hotel that you can find, or you can go stay in one that's affordable, and they're all right next to one another, or down the street. So it's a good place to go. That's
and probably an awesome meat shop too down here.
A meat shop?
That's right. Me and Desi know about this meat shop. It is unbelievable.
Does he mean a butcher shop, Zach?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's the Ogeechee Meat Market, right?
Yes. Oh, you should see these pot pies they got there, Justin. Oh, my God, you would die for them.
Like they're a chicken pot pie?
Oh, yeah. They got a pork and a chicken and a beef.
They're good?
We haven't had any, but, man, they look good. They had ostrich. They had everything down there. I'm telling you what, man, this was some meat market.
All right, so once the season gets going, you going down to Jack Links. What you shooting the whole championship tour and everything in between, Zach?
I'll shoot Jack Links, week off. Well, actually, we go snow goose hunting in between, but Jack Links, snow goose hunt, Seminole Cup, week off, Gator Cup. We'll probably bail out later that week and head towards Arizona. We normally stop by the ACUY National Championship, root on our friends there, and make our way out to Arizona. We'll drive because we'll come back from Arizona and teach in Texas, and then shoot the Browning Briley. There's a 200 bird fee test with the Browning Briley this year, and then I think we're debating on Texas State or Florida State. I'm leaning towards Florida State because it's close to home. And then we just have stuff in Georgia for the next couple months. Trident Cup at the Meadows, Southeast Regional at Big Red Oak. We do have a regional at M&M in between there in May, and then Georgia State at the Meadows again. So a couple good trips, nothing too crazy till we go to Europe in the end of June.
Wouldn't you think? You would think that I've mentioned this 20 times. I've never been to M&M.
What?
Yeah, I ain't never been up there.
It's awesome. Some of the same things you were talking about, Forest City and Savannah. They're right there in Pennsville, New Jersey. You're 5 minutes from hotels, 5 minutes from some good restaurants. And the Matarese family's just execution of an event it might be equaled at certain places at times, but there's no one better at it. His targets are awesome. Definitely test the top shooters, but not really beat anyone down. I think one of Anthony's strengths is obviously all the coaching, is that he knows what people can and can't hit. So he's got the targets down to a science, man. Better than
what is a good target versus
visible?
somebody that thinks they throw a good target. What's the difference?
I think a lot of guys think they set good targets. Just fair, challenging, visible, gives you time. They don't always have to give you time. It just depends what the quicker bird's paired with.
Just a lot of different stuff that equals a good target.
Yeah, just
not just setting it far and setting it hard.
Right.
Or cranking it down and throwing it 70 yards.
Other times, understanding what these shotguns are capable of. I've seen guys throw some Raboos that I promise you are just not that breakable consistently. So,
do you think that's the hardest target to break on a sporting course? A Raboo?
To physically break, yes.
Yeah.
No doubt. No question. Especially an American rabbit. A white flyer rabbit's really thick. A lot of the European rabbits are concaved and they're a little thinner towards the center of the target, so they're easier to break. They bounce more. They're not as heavy.
Well, Rodney, you got that to look forward to.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
what, kind of rewinding back to what he was talking about of experiencing some of those targets. Yeah, a lot of it is the actual targets are different. You're shooting 110s, the standards. They carry some speed a little later in their flight, more than our 108 white flyer pheasants. Their rabbits are lighter, so they bound and bounce more. You got to go over there and experience it. That's it's kind of the rite of passage. I was talking to Desi yesterday about being real excited about taking Connor Daniel over there and going to sporting targets and shooting giant towers and going to West London and shooting towers, and just that's it's part of maturation in this game, is going to where it came from and learning from who were historically the best shooters.
You bring up Connor Daniel. You brought him up several times. I don't think that people understand how hard he works at shooting. Some may, but he may be the hardest working shooter out there right now. I'm talking about grown folks, kids, everybody.
I think there's a few other younger shooters. Turner Parcell works really hard at it. I know there's some other shooters, some longtime shooters that definitely practice a lot. But it's true. The first 2 years that kid was shooting, the first year, I bet I stood behind him on a lesson 4 days a week. He didn't do that. We don't do that at this rate now, only because he's a lot more experienced, but he's working at it. His parents are hard workers. They've built a very successful business from nothing. They've instilled that same kind of grind into him. Obviously, he's blessed to have the resources to be able to do it, but he's got a fire that's very, very rare.
You remember, so this Jack Links, I guess when it was the Gator Cup is when he got his first DT. When was that? 4 years ago?
That was the final Gator Cup, the last Gator Cup 2 years ago. The look on his face, it was priceless. Yeah. He couldn't believe he won.
Yeah, his parents were going to make him buy his own DT, and he was saving up for it. Yeah, that's pretty. That's neat. That's a neat story.
Let me tell you, you better go up to M&M because there's a pizza place down the road that is absolutely phenomenal. The subs are to die for, and the breakfast pizza, something you've never had before.
Really?
Oh. I think he's talking about the Italian kitchen right there on the road. What's that? Hook Road?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Have you, Zach, listen. Every time Rodney said something,
it's always food, right?
He wanted to go to England for the food, and then he found him a meat shop in Savannah that had pot pies, and now they got pizzas.
He was just telling Desi and us at dinner tonight, talking about some buffalo steak in Bozeman that he wants to take us to. He might be a Team USA eater.
Hey, you got to enjoy that stuff when you're there.
I remember where were we at, Rodney, when we went to that Brazilian steakhouse?
That was San Antonio.
Rodney sat there. He was eating steak for 45 minutes straight.
That's right. They didn't tell me to turn the little card over to red. I just kept it green and the steak kept it rolling in. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Just keep bringing it, boys.
So what? We might have to put a poll. We might have to on the Shotgun Sports Facebook forum. We need what club has the best food. There's a lot of good ones, man.
You mean the town?
The town, yeah, the area.
Yeah, that'd be
hard.
Good.
I'll tell you what shoot I used to go to for 3 or 4 years in a row that had incredible restaurants everywhere. I used to go to the Lobster Classic at Addyville East Farm in Rhode Island. So between there and Providence, Rhode Island, if you like Italian food, oh my God. Everywhere we went was good. Savannah's obviously awesome. I love going to Northbrook. There's a bunch of places we go to around there.
San Antonio.
San Antonio's got great ones. Houston's got some good food.
So you can go, I'll tell you this about Georgia. You can go to any of the clubs around here and find something good to eat. All of them.
Where do you go at Big Red Oak?
Well, it's right there next to Sonoya. Or,
that's true. Yeah.
You know, or Griffin is not far from there. I mean, there's places that Sonoya's got those kind of, I don't know, you know, that's where The Walking Dead was filmed.
Zombies.
Yeah. And they've got a bunch of little restaurants up that strip right there. I forgot the name.
That's true. I spaced on that.
Yeah. This pretty good. But yeah, you can pretty much, I mean, Cherokee Road's right off the interstate. The Meadows right off the interstate.
Yeah, Meadows. Kevin's taking me to lots of good food around the Meadows.
Yeah, there's plenty to eat in Georgia. That's for sure. It's probably why we're all fat down here. But
and if speaking of that, I think everyone's going to be surprised when they see Justin. Justin's lost some weight.
You know, it's not much, just a little bit. Rodney ain't gonna lose it the way he's talking.
So, Rodney, do you tell the truth? Do you shoot to eat?
The food tour is about to begin.
Is that why you shoot, Rodney? Do you just shoot so you can go eat places, or do you go eat so you can shoot? What is it?
I like combining both together.
To be honest, that's the part of the draw to this whole thing. The friends that I've gotten into the sport, that they love the camaraderie. They love going to dinner with a group of like-minded individuals and having fun. And I think it's the whole experience. It's not just the shooting that draws people in. It's the travel. It's seeing new places. It's going new places. It's eating with your friends and blowing up targets. So this is the first podcast that you've jumped on here in about a month. How did the takeovers go?
They're good. I mean, I had a lot of, we had some audio quality issues, but I expected that. But other than that, we got good feedback. If I could figure out how to, instead of sending everybody microphones like I really want to do, and I have ready to do, I would just, that's what we need to work on. But I think that it was cool getting different perspective from different people and questions being asked that, that I wouldn't normally ask just because I didn't know to ask. Like the one with you and Anthony. I mean, just the backstory on him and his family was very interesting. And with Tom and Corey, with talking about, how Corey was back in his younger days and how he views the game now. I mean, it's just it's different questions from like you said, like-minded people that listen. But, I'm sure people have listened and say, dang, he's got so-and-so on. I wish he'd asked this. Well, it kind of gives them the opportunity to ask it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So just something different. You always got to find something different to do. And I think it's good to change stuff up a little bit. I'm sure people get tired of hearing me talk on here all the time. So
they might be getting tired of my voice too. Been on 2 in a row.
2 in a row. No, it's, we talked about this. When did we talk about this? When Tom was going to talk to Joe Finizzi.
Mm-hmm.
I said, y'all do all you can not to mention Zach's name, because I don't think that there's an episode ever that your name don't get brought up in.
Really?
I mean, think about it. Your name always gets brought up in these episodes. And if you go back and listen to that one, guess what didn't get brought up? Your name.
Yeah.
So, but that's there's nothing wrong with that.
That's good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So, hey, when you win 3 national championships, your name just going to get brought up every once in a while. Ain't it right, Rodney?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, when we get off this, what's the first thing you're going to do, Rodney?
What's that?
When we get done with this podcast, what's the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to go and look for dessert.
Rodney, you're going to have people at all these shoots like offering to buy you lunch. Everybody, buy him lunch, bring him dessert. Make sure he's got snacks on the course. The people's champ. I've dubbed him in my own mind. Rodney's the people's champ. When he won that Gator Cup, I think people loved it.
Oh yeah, it was totally. I mean, unexpected. Not that he couldn't do it, but it's just you would expect one of the other guys to win like they do everything else. And then Rodney shows up and you're like, what happened? They must have what did you eat there, Rodney? Some of those tacos they had?
Yeah.
I can't give out that secret.
He had that prime rib on Saturday night.
That's right. Little prime rib did me in for Sunday.
I think Jack Link's is serving prime rib.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Rodney going to win Jack Link's. And Rodney, they're going to have beef jerky in all the stations like they're everywhere.
Right.
Maybe you can request some ostrich jerky.
I know last year I had a cart full of jerky.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it all went.
That Natalie's drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't be a better start to the year. Free jerky.
You know when they got that last year in those coolers, when they gave you the cooler, you open it up and they had the Jack Link's Bloody Mary mix. Did y'all try that? I
heard it was good.
Oh, man, you could just drink it out of the bottle. You don't have to mix nothing with it. I'm telling you, it's good.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully they'll have some this year.
Didn't even think of that.
Do you remember that, Rodney?
Yes, I do remember that.
He's got that dumbfounded look on his face like, dang, I didn't even think about that.
That's right.
I can't wait.
I think I gave the bottle away and drank the vodka.
I'm telling you, it's good. That is some good Bloody Mary mix if you like to drink. So, anyway,
awesome.
We're all going to be headed down there. The next, I don't know, Zach will probably head down there, Tuesday?
Yeah, I shoot later in the day on Wednesday. We'll head down Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. So we'll all be there. Expect a big crowd. I don't know about vendors this year. I know vendors were a little slack last year, but they may have that pumped up this year. I'm not real sure, but
I'm not privy to that info, but hopefully they'll be down there.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. Great place to go if you hadn't signed up. I don't think you can anymore, but they might have a waiting list that you can still get on. But I'm ready to go. Ready to get it going and start it out with a good shoot for sure.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. And Rodney, when I see you down there now, we're going to go eat somewhere. I don't know where to eat. I don't know where to eat down
where we can go.
They've got a really good Italian restaurant in Port St. Lucie. You got Lightsy's in Okeechobee.
That's what Rodney just said. What do they have there, Rodney?
It's all seafood. All you get the alligator, turtle.
He just say turtles?
Yeah,
cooter.
Did you say frogs too?
Yes, frog leg. Oh God, yes, you got to go for that platter.
Zach, he said you could go to this place and eat seafood, turtles, and frogs.
He's not lying. I'd go there with the Finizis and
it's good.
I've had some funny dinners there because they call their turtle cooter.
Yeah,
they
got like shirts and sweatshirts with random cooter sayings and
like spell what you're saying.
Cooter.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I couldn't tell what you were saying. Okay, well, Rodney, if you want to go down there and eat some cooter, then you know right where to go. Right?
I'll bet you. I'll guarantee you somebody brings him cooter from their dinner the night before. If you're listening to this podcast, and you happen to go to Lightsy's, bring Rodney Disbrow some cooter, and he will win the Jack Links.
Cooter and some frog legs.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
I think Justin fell out of his chair.
Well, you're going to be in for a surprise, Justin, when you taste that cooter and frog legs down there.
Oh my God!
Which would you prefer, Rodney? If you had to choose one.
Oh man, that's a tough decision. I don't know. The cooter, I kind of like the name. But the frog legs might be a little bit better.
Oh my god. Justin fell out of his chair.
God almighty. That might be the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Oh, man, what in the world? Oh, I'm crying now.
Boy.
Wow. Well, hey, guys, thanks for your time, and I'll see you next week.
Looking forward to seeing you and everyone else next week.
That's it.
Yeah. Can't
All
wait.
right.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Justin.
All right.
Thank you, Justin.
Bye.
All right.